right, player empowerment obviously has been on the forefront in the NBA, guys. So after the Brooklyn Nets' Big Three experiment went sideways, Kyrie Irving asked for a trade, ultimately landing in Dallas with the Mavericks. Kevin Durant later asked for a trade as well. In his introductory press conference with the Suns, he did admit it stung when Kyrie asked to be moved. Both KD and Kyrie were asked if trade requests are bad for the league at All-Star Weekend. Take a listen.
I don't think it's bad for the league. It's bringing more eyes to the league. More people are more excited. The tweets that I got and the news hits that we got from me being traded, Kyrie being traded, just bring more attention to the league. And that's really what makes you money, is when you get more attention. So I think it's great for the league, to be honest.
What's a bad situation, and why doesn't anybody have the ability to ask for trades? That's my question. It's just, when did it become terrible to make great business decisions for yourself and your happiness and your peace of mind? Not every employer you're going to get along with. So if you have a chance to go somewhere else and you're doing it legally, then I don't think there's a problem with it.
Okay. Stephen A., some strong points by both Kevin Durant and Kyrie. But
No,
where
no,
are
what?
you on this? Do you think trade requests, I can tell you're champing at the bit, are trade requests a bad thing for the NBA?
Trade requests are absolutely positively not a bad thing.
Okay.
So KD and Kyrie are right about that. It's not only their right to do it, it's not a bad thing. You're absolutely right. But the point is that their points were weak. Their points were not salient points. So let's count the ways. Number one, when KD sits up there and he talks about how it brings more attention to the league, right? Because people are talking about it. Well, people are talking about how weak and pathetic the All-Star game was. Is that good for the league? All attention ain't good attention. That's number one. Number two, KD would be the first to recognize the fact that there are an abundance of people in the media and beyond that have strong followings and draw attention. You're looking at one of them. They don't always consider that to be a good thing. So all attention is not a good thing. It's not a good thing, at least according to him. So there's some inconsistency in that diatribe that he spewed right there. But I'm not really talking about KD, because this brother is all world, and the only times he really misses games, Wendy, is when he's really legitimately hurt. This is a brother that wants to play all day, every day, and never cheats the game of basketball. I love me some Kevin Durant, so we're good there. Let's get to Mr. Kyrie Irving, okay? He talks about great business deal. And see, this is where they get slick, and he's not alone, because KD was being slick too in certain respects. This is where they missed the boat. There's absolutely nothing wrong with trade request. But there is a lot wrong with what led up to the trade request. You went to Brooklyn, 2 stars, handed the keys to the franchise, and all you had to show for it, in 3.5 years together, you played less than 50% of your games together, and you never got beyond the first. You never got. You all got was 1 playoff series win. That's all you have to show for 3.5 years. We actually had Kyrie Irving. I don't know if y'all caught this. I know you did, Wendy. Do you know that when Kyrie Irving went to Dallas and he did his introductory press conference, he actually said he did his job? He said, did my job. And oh, by the way, we left us and we were in 4th place. So this is a champion. A champion. One of the greatest talents this game has ever seen. That literally said with a straight face, he did his job, and he left them in a good position because they were in 4th place. So a champion suddenly finds 4th place as doing his job. This is what he said on the record. It ain't me. This is not me, ladies and gentlemen. Am I lying, Wendy? Did he not say that, Wendy? I think I heard him say that, Wendy.
He also said he did a great job leading.
He said he did a great job leading. He did a great job leading. How many games did he miss? I mean, how many reasons did he have for missing games? And he talked about doing a great, great job leading. Well, if you were leading so great, why'd you have to trade? Why'd you have to leave? Why did you get the trade request? Why is Bradley Beal and Zach LaVine and Damian Lillard and others signing for $200+ million? In Dame's case, more than $300 million. Why are they signing for these dollars, but you looking for a contract as spectacular as you are? Everybody knows as a basketball player, Kyrie Irving is easily worth $50 million a year in today's market. We all know that. The question is reliability. Not just availability, but reliability. And those are huge question marks. But this man talked about he did a good job leading. He did his job. Oh, by the way, they were in 4th place. That was a good position. And in 3.5 years, the man won 1 playoff series and sat up there with a straight face. Camera's rolling now. I did my job. This is what we're talking about here. So when a trade request follows that, that's what makes the trade request look bad. It's not somebody who did their job, but then reached the conclusion, I'm not happy here. I want a better situation for myself and move on. And some could argue that is KD. We can't sit up there and say KD didn't do his job. KD showed up on the court when healthy. The brother was averaging point. He didn't miss any games unless he was legitimately injured. When he signed with Brooklyn, Brooklyn knew he would have to miss the first year because of the Achilles tear. And we all said pay him any damn way because he's such a superstar and he's so reliable that you do it because you know you can trust that he's going to show up on the court every game that he can. Now, he leaves a lot to be desired when it comes to really imposing his will upon other players. But there is no question that when you look at Kevin Durant, every time he could play, he did play. I challenge anybody to show me a better professional at getting time off than Kyrie Irving. I mean, as spectacular as he is, he can give lessons. I'm here at the University of Texas, okay? I got to give a speech today at the University of Texas in Austin, Texas, all right? If there were a class on how to miss work, Kyrie Irving could give lessons. But when you make a trade demand in the aftermath of that, that is the problem. So it was really slick because he's right in what he's saying. No problem with trade requests. Him and KD are absolutely on the money. I just love how it's omitted what you did leading into the trade request or the trade demand. It might be good business, but it's good business for Kyrie.
But not all trade requests are created equal. There's all of them in some ways are different. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar asked for a trade in 1975, and that's almost 50 years ago. The reasons that he had were different from the reasons that Kyrie asked for a trade. There are times where trade demands actually do the team a favor because when a team is looking to rebuild, it shifts the blame for the rebuild to the player as opposed to the team. So I think it's very difficult to make a blanket statement. What I will say is this. When Kevin Durant talks about it being good for the league, I'm not so sure that generating news for transactions is good for the product of the league. I think what's good for the product of the league is good basketball on the floor, that people can spend their winter when they're locked inside watching, and that they want to spend their spring and summer when they could go outside, they want to watch it. Now, the league could push back and say, well, look at the media rights and look at we're about to do a new TV deal in another year or two, and there's people lining up to try to bid for it, and they would say people still want it. And that would support Kevin Durant's assertion. But I would say that just creating social media trending topics isn't necessarily equal to being good business for the NBA. And the league is in a tough spot right there because they love when they overtake Super Bowl week, when they've got the topics. But the All-Star game isn't going to touch the Super Bowl in terms of viewership. And so to me, what I would say is go wherever you want to go. Just make sure the product on the court is very good. And the product on the court recently, particularly regular season, and absolutely on All-Star Weekend, has not been there. And that's a real conversation more than about a trade request.
Well, you're 1,000% correct, but let's crystallize it because, I'll push back on you just a touch when you talk about the players in this great position. And yes, I don't think that's going to last. And I think that when you talk about what Adam Silver feels, I think that Adam Silver, the commissioner, deserves a lot more credit than people are giving it to him because I understand how lenient he's been with the players, but I'm not sure that's going to continue as talks continue. You're getting ready to try to negotiate a new deal with the networks. We got to take that into consideration. It's us, it's TNT. Who knows who else is going to come down the pike and try to get involved? Similar to what the NFL does in terms of having deals with ESPN, with Fox, with CBS, with NBC. You're going to see the NBA obviously doing business with a multitude of networks. You obviously see YouTube getting involved, potentially Amazon and others. You just never know. And I think that what's going to transpire is that collectively, when you see the fourth estate, the media per se, doling out these exorbitant contracts, there's going to have to be some demand that the product that's put on the floor gives some degree of consistency and certainty to the networks so you know that what you're paying for is going to be up to snuff. We've got a situation here, Wendy, right now, and this is what infuriates me, because I know you've been supportive of the players. For decades, I've been supportive of the players. I want the players to get paid. I always want to. A matter of fact, there have been times, Molly, I'll throw myself on Front Street, and Wendy and others who have watched me over the years can testify to this. There's a lot of things that I've said, I waited until guys got their money to say it, because I wanted them to get paid first. I didn't want to jeopardize anybody's paper. I believe in players getting paid. But here's what has happened. You literally have a situation where players are getting paid and literally plotting for their next contract before even honoring the one they have. And this is the problem. You can't have that going on. You talk about diluting the quality of the product in terms of load management, availability, being reliable, et cetera, et cetera. All of these things, you got guys looking for their money. And in the past, when you got your money, you were good. Now guys get their money, some, not all, not most, but some. You got guys who get their money and literally engage in managing themselves to position themselves for the next contract when they're already signing nine-figure deals now. And when you have that going on, that's what Wendy is alluding to. I think Adam Silver is cognizant of it. I think that the NBA is cognizant of it. I damn sure know the networks are, and something has to be done, because we can't have this continuing, because the ratings have dipped to some degree. The quality of the product has been compromised, but it's not because of their talent. It's because of their lack of commitment to honoring the contracts they signed. And that is where all of us have to come together and say, wait a minute, you gonna show up and play? That's all we asking. We don't care about what you want to do off the court. Do it. Get your business ventures, have your opinions, do what you need to do. Just show up on the damn court. That is not too much to ask for people who are paid generational changing money. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.